So this is a part 2 of the Diminishing Returns video where I will be only talking about Inara and how to correctly avoid the diminishing returns affecting you. You have multiple sources of DR. You have damage reduction on your right mouse button. You have the talent, which will fully stack without any diminishing returns on Earthen Guard, which is your ability on right mouse button on PC. And you have this card, Sacred Grounds, which will reduce your damage by 20%. So how do you use this effectively? Don't ever spam both your right mouse button and F, or treacherous, what's it called? It's called Warder's Field and Earthen Guard together. You will always get way less value out of it, and you're gonna be one of the bad Inara players that just spam every ability they have and say, okay, I'm just not gonna die anyway. And then they'll blame the support they have for no reason. Now, let's go ahead and demonstrate that my Inara, which has 5k HP, will die to 8 crossbow shots from Cassie. Now that's 5, and then here's the 3 others. Okay, so let's go ahead and wait for her to reload, and then go in with the DR as we should. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, oops, I used this as a shield, so I didn't die. That's also something you can do. And I just don't die, do I? And that's how you rotate your cooldowns. By the way, if you use Earthen Guard, and as soon as it's about to end, you use Warder's Field, look at it, you will regain your Earthen Guard nearly at the same time your Warder's Field ends.
Not yet.
And I don't even have any items. Let's open the store. I don't have any items whatsoever. So these two abilities will be back to back, always active on a good Inara. You don't spam them. Don't use them together. And really, don't run this no matter what. It will only work if you are solo tank Inara with IO and running something like double support or double flank with IO. IO has to be there. That's when you can think of running this. Don't even think of running it against Barik. At least not in high elo, where Barik will just say, okay, you just gave me more reasons to show you that you are throwing by picking treacherous grounds. I know it slows and cripples and can kill Barik very easily, and that you can burst down Barik before he can do anything about you if he was alone. Of course, even if he wasn't alone, you're Inara, you're not gonna die that fast. So this talent does kill Barik if he's dumb and wasting loadout points versus this talent specifically, but you always run this. You can even run it if IO is on your side. It's always safe. It always gives you value. Okay, so this video has no numbers yet. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you how this works. Now, your right mouse button on Mother's Grace is 50% damage. If you try to spam both abilities, it will cap at around 57%. I haven't done the calculation really, but it'll probably end somewhere less than 60%. This is why you don't do that. Now, buying Haven will always be affected by diminishing returns while your Earthen Guard is up, because it's 50%, it's above the limit. Even if you're not running Mother's Grace, the base kit Earthen Guard is 30%, it's on the threshold. So Haven is surprisingly always affected by the diminishing returns on Inara. Now, this is an issue. So why do Inara players start by buying Haven? It will always give them less value. As a matter of fact, they might just get like 8% more DR on tier 3. I really need to do the math on this. Hold on. give me a few seconds. I'll just alt-tab and do it right now while I'm talking about the other card. So you have the 20% on the card and the 50% on the talent. Let's go ahead and do the numbers. I'm just using the web calculator. So our first number is 50% from the talent. Our second number is 20% from that card. So if you just do this, let's do it in game 2. If you do this, you will be getting 57.5% DR. Instead of getting 50 for a time for 6 seconds, that's how long Earthen Guard lasts, and then you will be getting 20% on your Warder's Field. Now, what if you buy Haven and have your Earthen Guard up? So you have 7% on Haven 1. Let's pull up the item store. It's 7% on tier 1. That will only give you 2. Actually, 2.9. So you only reduce your damage by 3% on tier 1. On tier 2, it gives you 5.5 more DR. So it's 55 DR, 0.5. And on tier 3, it only gives 57.8 DR. So buying Heaven on Inara will only affect you when both your right mouse button and your Warder's Field are offline. Like if you're a bad Inara, like this. If you're not rotating your cooldowns correctly, then you might want to buy this. Otherwise, it's bad. It's a waste of credits. 300 for tier 1, 600 for tier 2, and 900 for tier 3. The same applies for blast shields. It's the same numbers, the exact same numbers. It's bad. Stop buying Haven on Inara. This and this are what Inara buys. And Chronos. It's good, but it's not required whatsoever. You don't need Chronos on Inara. You start by buying Rejuvenate 2 if your team can go with 3 cauterizers. That's your damage, your off tank, if there is one, and your flanker, and your support can go Chronos. You go with Rejuvenate, and then you can get Cauterize. You always stack 2 Rejuvenate, and then 1 Cauterize, if you have 3 Cauterizers. If not, you just buy Rejuve 1 and Caut 1. You always max Rejuve 3 first. Good luck!